Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for My Hero Academia Season 8, Episode 4. And you may have already noticed, there's a little difference here. Uh, yeah, I decided to shave everything for No Shave November, which is coming up. As of me recording this, it's only the 26th, so, well, technically it's past midnight. For me, it's still the 25th, if that makes sense. I haven't slept for the night yet, but it's past midnight. Um, but anyway, I decided to have it clean shaven so that way, like, several of, like, my whole recording week that I do will be able to catch it before I start letting it grow again as, like, clean shaven so all the different videos can have it. Just for fun, you know? And then right when the 31st hits, I'll shave it one more time to keep it, like, get it nice and fresh on the 31st, and then we'll go into November without shaving. I'm still gonna shave my head, but not my face. So yeah, you guys can see why I don't shave. I think I look terrible, but it is what it is, and maybe I just have to get used to it. I don't know. So yeah, as for my hero, last episode, Bakugo went absolutely ham. Someone who is badass without a beard himself. But he was kind of getting a grip on this new way to use his power, and he was fumbling around while also laughing. But it's very much All Might. Like, one of the first things we learned about All Might was that he smiles to hide the pain inside, and that's kind of what Bakugo is doing. So I was supposed to grab tissues because I've been crying every episode, but I didn't. So yeah, let's just jump into this one and see what happens this time, because shit is crazy and I'm excited to watch more. Alrighty guys, if you aren't sure how to watch my content because you need to sync up your footage with my timer, there is a link in the description below that for a guide video that will teach you how to do so. So check that out if you're interested. And we are going to get started here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Ooh. Oh. I don't recognize the voice. Huh. Is that part of our quirk? Hmm. Oh. Oh. She's pregnant. Is that all for one? And his brother? Were they twins? One was smaller than the other. He already has the holes in his hands. Interesting. Whoa. Oh, what a start. Interesting. I hate it. I keep looking over at this monitor where I have like my preview of myself. Where did it go? I'm so much more alert of the shape of my lips. uh Oh my god. Were some of those visuals new? Interesting, okay. Hmm. I'm really curious about that baby stuff in the beginning. Work explosion plus ultra. Okay. Wait, why are we starting here? Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah. We're getting all for one backstory, but we're also getting. It's called Quirk Explosion. Oh, shit. Oh my god, he's terrifying looking already. Oh my god! So that's kind of the things that were coming out of her arm. He stole it from his mother. Damn. Ugh. Is he like getting her milk, but also like biting her and making her bleed too? Jeez. Taking more quirks. Oh my god, so he was just a little murderer. Oh, the brother. Wow, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. Seems like the younger got the emotions and the older became a psychopath, too. 'We're a little older now, just covered in blood. 'Looks like All Might. Looks like All Might far before All Might's time. 3 years later. And we got All for One music. Aw. Jeez. Some kind of like invisibility and flying. Oh. And glowing. I wonder if he stole the original quirk. Jeez. Hmm. Where he gets the Demon Lord idea, I guess, from the comics. Oh, and now we're getting caught up to what we've seen. Hmm. This is really interesting. This is where he gives it to him. Got that same look as when he was a kid. Damn. Hmm. Yeah, I guess the mother died giving birth, I suppose, so they never got names. Yep, this was the... Man, he looks so much like Bakugo. Is there some kind of relation? Like, I know I've seen it before, and he'd look like Bakugo, but so did the muscular guy, so... Looked a bit like Bakugo, so who knows. We haven't seen that. Did he already pass it on? Oh, shit. Hmm, damn. Wow, he just exploded his brother. Ah, yeah, had disappeared. Hmm, showing like the egg. Interesting. Okay. Yep. Man, it started that small. Wow. Yeah, I mean, hmm. Yeah, could have taken it away from people who don't want it and given it to people who want it, you know? Kind of like what he did, but he did it to manipulate people. Ooh. Damn, this is the next one. The next one down the line. He's realizing that it's been passed on each time he fights them. Nana Shimura. Oh shit! We never seen that! We saw that second shot in black and white. Wiped out his bloodline. Wait, is it? Interesting. A will just like his. Oh my god. Bakugo's just like floating there. Jeez. He's starting to come to his senses a little more, I feel like. I don't know, maybe he has been. We saw how young he can be terrifying still, though. He has some age to lose. Oh! Oh. Oh my god, that's so gross! What the fuck? Oh. Oh shit. Omni Factor, what the heck? What is this nasty FMAB craziness? What the heck? Jeez, look at his face. Oh shit. Bakugo. Interesting. I won't get in your way anymore. Gee. It's just a giant, nasty flesh missile. Oh my god. Oh, what? He's... What did he do? He, like, remote detonated some shit. Oh. That's insane. Oh my god. He can think on his feet. Holy shit. One quirk is all you need. Fuck him up, boy. No, it is not. Howitzer. Damn! Quirk explosion. Oh, that's not good. Jeez. Oh my god, he is just exploding. Hmm. The mercy of negative emotions. Oh! What? Hawks' factor? What the fuck? No way. It's just like with, oh. There goes the brace. Oh. Oh. Yeah, look at Bakugo. Look at this kiddo, man. Holy shit! Damn! That looked great. Once again, Bakugo's growth is insane. Jeez. What a line that was. What the fuck? Oh my god, he's a baby! With a bit of sentience left. Oh my god, Bakugo's gonna kill a baby. Yes, Bakugo. If anyone can kill a baby, it's him. Oh, buddy. Wow. Oh, Bakugo, is it? No, I think he's still capable. Oh, not falling must mean you're damn strong. Oh. Oh, shit. No, it grazed, right? Oh my god, no, he caught it in his teeth and exploded it. Oh, it was ruled by emotion. He finally has that hate. Oh my god, he is going all the way back. Oh. Oh, okay. That would have been nice. Okay. Jeez, why do they beat you like that? Oh, he put his hand up just like All Might, just like Endeavor. He tried his best. You did good, buddy. Shit, man. Oh. Man, all for one is gone, except for maybe whatever little bit is left inside Shigaraki, but that seems to be mostly defeated at this point, so I don't know how much hope there is for it. Uh... It's cool seeing, like, the progression of Midoriya through the outro. Ah, gentle. Wow. That was a great episode again. Luckily, it got my eyes watering, but I didn't cry as profusely as I did in the last episodes, the last two. Oh boy. We have the follow-up of now it's gonna be Midori and Shigaraki. That's gonna be the next fights we see, I suppose. That's it, guys, for episode 4. Damn. Okay, so one thing I didn't know is that they were born as twins, what we learned in the beginning. I don't know if it's like necessarily, I mean, clearly they weren't, didn't seem like they were identical twins and stuff like that, but it seems like they were both born at the same time. Uh, All for One was strong and Yoichi was frail, seemed to, like, all the nutrients needed seemed to have gone to All for One and not Yoichi. So yeah, I mean, I I really liked that, just getting so much more of that backstory, seeing that it wasn't even anything tragic in his, I mean, other than the way he was born, like obviously it seems like his mother might have died giving childbirth, or unless he killed her after the fact, I'm not sure. But either way, like, other than that bit of tragedy, it seems like even from that very young age, he was a bit of a psycho, you know? It didn't seem like he had any emotions. It wasn't some, like, big emotional thing that broke him and then he became who he is. It's just he was born that way, you know? And so right out the gate, right away he stole his mother's quirk, which, had that like spiky sort of ability. And then as soon as he was able to move enough and stuff, he started stealing quirks, killing people and all that. But man, we saw so much more of everything, of him like confronting all of the One for All successors and everything, and then him like trying to take their quirk after he beat them, and then seeing that it was gone when he tried. He realized that it had already been passed on. It's just this. He's just been. I didn't realize he cared so much about taking One for All back. Right? Like, I knew he wanted it now because of how powerful it had become. One, because it's something that can stop him, and two, because it would give him more strength if he was able to steal it. Now, I do wonder how much strength it would give him, right? And the other factor is that he wanted to bring his brother back to him that he killed. There was a line in there where he said that, where he was like, I want you to be with me again, Yuichi, you know? So, I don't know how much of like a greed or an emotional reason that was, you know? I don't know if he like truly missed and regretted what he did to his brother and wanted to try to like pull him back with him. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was really interesting. But we know that when someone copies the quirk with Monoma, it's a blank, as Monoma calls it, which means that he doesn't copy what is stockpiled. It really makes me wonder if All for One were to steal the quirk, would he also be stealing what had been stockpiled, or would he just get the base quirk that allows the ability to power again, and he would just like not have any power? I don't know. I really wonder how that would have worked, but yeah, I guess technically Shigaraki still has the chance to steal it. So anyway, um, yeah, I mean, I loved the whole idea that One for All started as like something that was just almost not even noticeable. Like we never really realized that All for One was saying he checked to see if his brother had a quirk and he couldn't detect it. And it seems like I thought it was because like, oh, it's just a quirk to pass on powers, so it's something that wouldn't be noticeable. But it sounds like All for One has a method of checking people's quirks that is more thorough than just like visually being like, hey, you don't have any power, like, you're not exploding out of your hands, or you don't have any horns, or you don't look deformed at all, so you just must be quirkless. It seems like it's something more than that. It's something that he can identify and check, and he was not able to tell that there was the ability to pass on powers there. But he said it was something that was just so small, it might have been awakened later, even like after he checked and then, but also once it was passed on to Kudo, it was even then still extremely small, because unfortunately Yoichi, one, didn't have the power super long before, like the stockpile power super long before it got transferred, but then two, was also so frail that he probably didn't contribute too much strength to it, but then Kudo was the first one to really contribute strength to it. So Kudo probably didn't gain too much of a benefit. And then, just like we knew that it grew over time, because when it hit Midoriya, it finally reached that singularity point that allowed Midoriya to, like, communicate with the successors, access more powers and everything. So it's something, I do love the idea that it's something that started so tiny and just grew into this in more than one way. It's not just the stockpiling power, it's also just the quirk factor, like, it began with, was also tiny, so that's really neat. Um, and where else was it? Oh man, there was something else I wanted to talk about with that in regard, but I can't think of it now. Shit. Okay, well, we'll come back to it if we think of it. So, um, going to the idea that Bakugo might somehow, see, they didn't confirm it, I don't think. I may need to like rewatch the episode to really read it again. But to me, it seems like All for One was like, I killed all of his blood relatives. There should be no one that is related to him. And then he was like, well, then I thought that maybe it was just that you looked like him, right? And then also he said when he met him back when Shigaraki kidnapped him and everything, he didn't sense anything of Kudo back then. But Bakugo has also changed. Like, Kudo seemed like he wasn't like a a very aggressive kind of person like Bakugo was early on. Bakugo has changed and softened, and you can even tell like when it went from Bakugo's eyes back then being so like angry and everything to the way they are now, where they're driven. His eyes are driven, but they're not as angry as they were. I think like the softness of his eyes was what All for One started to recognize Kudo in and everything. So yeah, it's really interesting. I guess we don't really know if, did All for One miss a blood relative, and that's Bakugo is somehow related to Kudo, or there was a line from All for One where he said, "No, you just look like him," but then he said, "No, your face looks like." But now I'm getting that sense that you are like related to him. So I don't know. It kind of went back and forth in All for One's mind. So I don't think All for One truly knew, which means I don't think we will truly know. But I mean, his eye shape, his eye like color and everything, his hairstyle, so much of it all looks uh just like Kudo. So I don't know. But I loved All for One just being like, without even fully knowing, he was just like, through time and space, you are you're still messing with me, you're still being a hindrance and everything, was awesome. But yeah, man, like, going like with Bakugo's power, just the fact that he is like propelling, it's almost like he has like two sweat beads touching each other and he detonates one, but somehow it's not detonating the other one, and it's propelling the sweat bead like at, if I'm understanding that right, at All for One. which he said like some of them got in his mouth earlier, and then Bakugo was just able to then like detonate them when he got close, and just it wasn't even close. Like he's able to like remote detonate or something now. I don't know. He's like detonating with a delay and everything. It's just crazy, like the growth of Bakugo's power and what he was. I love that what he was able to do with what he said. He is like you only need one quirk. This is a guy who's mastered just one quirk, and that's just so cool. I love that, and I mean, sure, it's cool to have more than one quirk. I love seeing Midoriya fly around and everything with Float and Black Whip and Smoke and all the ones that he has. But I genuinely just love the idea of Bakugo just having this one quirk and fighting with the giants that are, fighting with multiple and all that. So it's amazing. I kind of stopped writing things down after that whole related scene and just was watching. But, we had Bakugo at the end of the fight trying to raise his arm and then kind of stumbling a bit, tried to be like All Might, and Endeavor was trying to be like All Might as well. Ended up falling over and doing it from the ground though, which that's fine, buddy. You were amazing. Uh, and then also before that we saw like the animation when he went like full fire and all that was very similar to what Endeavor did, like, or at least the animation they did for Endeavor when he fought against the high end, and I think they did it again a little bit when he fought All for One and burned him to this point. But I loved Bakugo. Obviously I've endlessly talked about Bakugo's growth. You see him in the beginning as this kid who just he's just this kid who, in the beginning, thought he was the best, thought the world revolved around him, thought that he could do everything with no one's help, and all that. And now here we are, all these seasons later, where he's been humbled. He realized he might not be the strongest, but he still strives to be the strongest. And in this episode, he realizes what he's done to Midoriya, bullying him and putting him down, and then coming back and apologizing for it, thinking he killed All Might and the burden that's had on him. All of these things that have happened to Bakugo and all the growth that he's had, to then have him here be like, I didn't do this alone. This was the culmination of, Endeavor blasting you, forcing you to even do this rewind. Hell, Hawks, I didn't even talk about that with the quirk factors. I guess, like, the quirk factor, he wasn't able to use the quirk factors to the fullest because Hawks was just in there being like, yeah, I just kind of, like, started a fan club in here, because I'm a popular guy. And all these quirks just are like, hey, dude, like, I want to be with you, man. And so it seems like he said, like, they weren't to their fullest strength. So he was still using their quirks. So it wasn't that Hawk stopped him from using quirks entirely. It was just they weren't, like, in sync as perfectly as they could have been. And I love that. Like, we had this with Star and Stripe, Cassie. I know I forgot her name. I know I kind of said it and then just continued. Like, I was like, oh, it's just like, and then I couldn't think of the name in the moment, and then I just kept watching. But yeah, Star and Stripe with what she did with sending her quirk in to fight, and her factor was kind of in there. And same with this has all been built up. It's not just something that like came out of the blue right here. Same with Jiro. Jiro being like such a, I don't want to say a nobody because she's freaking awesome and she's an awesome character, but she's so much lower than the peak of some of these fighters and everything. Yet she was able to fight back and stand up against the Demon Lord, and the quirks with, like, she riled the quirks within him. She was like a bard in that moment, for all of her musical talents and everything, and she managed to rouse them and make them kind of rebel a little bit against All for One from within. So it's just really cool to have that be one more thing, all for one just does what he pleases and thinks he can get away with anything that he wants because he's special. But all these little things that he's done has just added up to this, and he rerun all the way to a baby and is gone now. Like I said, there's still a chance that there's a little bit within Shigaraki, but it seems like Shigaraki has a good grasp of it now. I don't know if we're gonna have one more confrontation or something with what's like inside him or not, or if Midoriya weakens Shigaraki himself too much, is that gonna open the ability for the last bit of All for One in there to like try to make a move, or is it done forever? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, but yeah, and I love that once again, we're kind of having just like back in the moment when All Might used the last of his strength and said, "Now it's your turn." Kind of talking to Midoriya there. He We had Bakugo here use what he had left in this fight anyway, and said, "Now it's your turn, Deku." So very cool. I'm really excited to see Midoriya and Shigaraki. Honestly, I kind of really like this method of how we did it, because sometimes we jump in between and everything, and sometimes we do stick one fight all the way to the end and then we go to the other one. So I do kind of really like seeing Bakugo, just staying with that storyline pretty much the whole time, and now we can switch back to Midoriya and get that one moving as well. So it's been uh it's been a lot of fun. I absolutely love that. Like, is there anything else I have to talk about? Like, man, just Quirk explosion. I love that. And a freaking creepy baby. Now, we didn't even have to have. I don't even think he killed the baby either, right? Like, it seems like he shot out that Quirk, and it seems like Bakugo caught it in his teeth and then, like, exploded the thing that he shot out. But I don't think Bakugo, like, exploded the baby, right? It seems like it wasn't like the orangish explosion energy. It was more like the yellow time reversing energy that seemed to be there. So I think he just ran out of time and just reversed even more after that. But I love the flashback to, you know, Bakugo saying, like, being strong means not falling. Like back when he gave the advice to Kaminari. No. Kirishima, I'm sorry. Uh and told him like that's what inspired Red Riot Kirishima to do his unbreakable mode, like just become a wall, don't be stopped and stuff like that. And then Bakugo thinking back to that advice he gave, and he's like, who would I be if I didn't like, live up to my own advice? Obviously he did end up falling, but come on, I never thought the kid was standing up again in this fight, and here he is, so goddamn. Oh man. It is really interesting. I still have a chance to win. If I can just get control of Tomer, I can steal one for all. Yoichi, I have to have you with me. It's really, like, it does sound like he wants it to be able to win. It does seem like he wants the power, but then, there is also that part of him there is like a small part that makes me think that, he, from a young age, he kept his brother with him, up until he was older, and then finally, like, couldn't stand Yoichi rebelling against him a bit and running away and killed him, But but it almost seems like he might have like regretted that decision, even though he said at another point when it was going through the successors and it shows like the tears in his eyes, and he said those tears didn't, like, I think he say like those tears didn't mean anything. Um I think it said something like that. Let me see if I can find that scene again. Um, Where was it? Or did I go past it by mistake? I might have went past it. But yeah, I really wonder when he came back glowing, because it seems like, they kind of talked about the glowing baby showing up and then them classifying as two different, DNAs, which kind of created the war between like normal people and people with meta powers and everything with quirks. And yeah, so I really wonder if the glowing baby would have still been alive, and if he went and like got that quirk too. He's like, hey, this was the first one, that showed up. I'm gonna go get this one. I thought it was when he started. I thought the crying scene was when he first started talking about like going through the successors. Here it is. If there were tears in my eyes, it's because I was upset. I've manipulated the things I hate and the things I desire, looked down upon them and made them my own. And yet you don't turn out the way that I want. Yeah, so I guess it's just like, so he claims that the reason he was crying was because he's like disappointed in the way that Yoichi passed on his powers the way that he did, and like didn't do exactly what he wanted, he wasn't he wasn't manipulated the way that All for One wanted. But I do wonder, is that just him denying that emotional side of him? You know, we'll have to. I mean, he's kind of gone now, so I don't know if we'll ever really get to know. But yeah, very interesting. So, anyways, guys, I think that's gonna be it from me. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. Links in the description below. Should be popping up on the screen. There's not more for this show because I release these as they air, but there is early access for a lot of my other shows that I do, as well as Patreon shows on there with shows that I do not even. Well, I release them to YouTube after completing them, and I complete releasing the previous show. So there's a whole lot of shows on there that aren't released yet, like Solo Leveling Season 1 and 2, Dan to Dan Season 1 and 2. I started with Storia, and The Expanse is on there for live action. Check all that out if you want more. Like I said, links are in the description. Now they should be popping up on the screen. They might not have been at the time that I said it before, but anyways, I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.